Hey YouTubers, what's up? Well, it's finally here. The Corsair Vengence K70 mechanical LED keyboard. If you're anything like me, you've been waiting about 8 months since you saw the first videos of it to get your hands on one. Well, I've got my hands on one now, and I'm going to make a video for you guys if you're on the fence, if you're just curious, or if you're waiting for your own, to get an idea of what's coming and what this keyboard is actually made of. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you're going to notice with this keyboard is how well built it is. When you first take it out of the box, there's two things you'll notice. There's two things I noticed anyway. The first is this nice dark brushed aluminum body that it's built in. It's great quality, it's very solid, it makes it feel like it's not cheap. The other thing is the nice thick braided cord that your USB goes through. It's going to be durable, it's going to keep it from getting tangled, and it's going to prevent a lot of the problems you may have dealt with on other keyboards. There are several advantages to a mechanical keyboard. If you're like me and this is the first mechanical keyboard that you've ever owned, you're in for a real treat. There's a few big advantages with a mechanical keyboard over another. The keys themselves, being mechanical, have a very clean, crisp feel to them when you push them down. A membrane has got kind of a squishy, soft feel. These have a very crisp feel. The very unique thing about the Corsair mechanical keyboard is that these switches have been redesigned so that the LEDs are actually contained within the switch itself rather than outside of the switch. This provides a host of advantages. It's better light transmission, it protects the LEDs, and it just gives it a cool effect. That's the big deal with this keyboard, is that it's mechanical, these LEDs are RGB, and they are built into the switches themselves. Corsair is set to release several other keyboards with different colored switches. These different colored switches have different feels for people with different preferences. This is the cherry red mechanical switches. They're the most popular among gamers. Another cool feature about them being mechanical is that you get response from the key before you get a full key press. With these particular keys, they're very sensitive. You press the key about 15 to 20% of the way down and you get response from the keyboard. This is a huge advantage when gaming because you get response almost immediately when you press a key instead of with a full key press all the way down. Now let's get the light off and show you a little bit more about what this keyboard is about. The first thing you're going to notice right out of the box is that the lights, this probably isn't what you're expecting after seeing a lot of the videos. This is the default profile that you'll see when you first plug in your keyboard. After that, you can use their specialized software to do different ideas and give your keyboard different lighting and different effects. You can set these effects to begin on key press, to begin as soon as the profile is selected, or anything else you can really imagine. Right now, the only effect I have is the color, but if I press the different keys, you see that I get some different effects. I can set those to stay on, or I can set them to shut off if I press keys. And these effects can be applied to different zones. They've really made this software robust. Another awesome feature is that these different profiles that you design can be assigned to whatever program you like, to whatever game you like. If you want it different with your web browser, or with an RPG, or with a shooter, you can assign those different keys to be whatever you want. This is what I have set up for when I'm browsing the web. Has some cool effects still, but is pretty mellow. Now, you can light up your WASD keys, your number keys for a shooter game, or whatever keys you want. You associate those profiles with a specific .exe, so when you open that program, it switches to that profile. If you're on the fence about getting this keyboard, I say go for it. If you've never owned a mechanical keyboard, it's a great keyboard to start with. If you like tinkering and you like lights like I do, it's also a great keyboard to start with. The software might be a little bit intimidating at first for some people, but once you get the hang of it, it's really not that bad. I plan on making a couple videos with tutorials to get you started if you do feel like you need some help. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I hope it answers some questions.